What's up, guys? Welcome back to the ranch. All right, ranchers, it's August 5th and we're here to smash buckwheat and get that fall food plot going. Well, once again, the buckwheat did not grow. So we're gonna have to solve this food plot buckwheat no-till fail. If you didn't see the last time I did this, I could include a link up here. But with that being said, well, buckwheat failed. What happened? Well, a couple of years ago, I was told I didn't use enough seed, enough buckwheat seed. So this year, I upped my seed a bunch. And same effect. What I'm being explained is that my deer per square acre population is too high. So they're over-consuming it. And I need to expand my food plot. Yeah, who doesn't want to expand their food plot? But up here in New York where I am, my property is kind of like this, and I'm gonna need some help to expand this food plot. I gotta get some machines in here, and I just can't financially do it just yet. So we have to work with what we have. We have to deal with the process we have. So buckwheat did grow. As you can see, I'm pretty well killed, and I have some great thatch that's just soil right below it. So I'm not going to do the next step in the no-till process. So in theory, we should have waist-deep buckwheat, and we're gonna come through and we're gonna crimp it over again like we crimped the rye. You might have seen me do that. And we would crimp over onto the fall food plot forage seed that we're planting today here on August 5th. And then we would come over and spray over the top of it with Roundup or glyphosate to kill the buckwheat that we just crimped. Being that I don't have buckwheat to crimp, I have buckwheat in here. It's all about yay tall, all nipped off. I'm just gonna leave it. And all the other green spots you're seeing in here are clover that when I crimped the rye and sprayed the rye, I didn't get that Roundup on all the clover, so it actually expanded itself this summer, and I have nice little clumps of clover in here. So I am not going to do the Roundup on here on the whole plot. I'm just going to do a couple of spots that have some grass in it and some dense weed concentrations that I'm not into, and I'll kill out that little area. But other than that, I'm going to leave what buckwheat's here. I'm going to leave these beautiful clumps of clover, and I'm going to create a little more diversity in my fall food plot here. Again, my food plot is kind of small. We're under a half an acre. So that is why the deer are just putting a lot of pressure on it. I mean, like clockwork, I will have 6 doe in this plot every afternoon. There's beds all around the edge of this. They are just hanging out here all the time. So it makes sense that my buckwheat is just getting mowed down. Plus, there's not a lot of food plots in the area. So I have to work, I don't have to work, that's working against me, I should say, because I'm putting out great stuff to eat and there's nothing else around but your basic summer forage, even though I'm trying not to put out something too palatable, but because it's edible and there's nothing else like that out here, the deer are just hitting it really hard. And that's fine. I'm gonna leave it in there as some diversity. I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna seed now, and then I'm gonna come with my backpack sprayer with a little bit of Roundup glyphosate and just hit some spots. This is like a spot over in this corner, you probably can't see it, that has some grass and weeds in it, and I'm just gonna take that out, spot treat the area. Everything else I'm leaving. It's a lot of clover in here, and it's a little bit of buckwheat, and that'll make for some nice fall food plot diversity. All right, so let's get to seeding. I wanted to drop you in for a closer look at some stuff. So here's the clover I'm talking about that's in here, and you can see the clover's making some nice seed heads, so that'll help self-populate it. And also, if you come here, I got the buckwheat that's, same size as my hand, so whatever, how tall your hand is, 6 inches, and it's all eaten. It's just all nipped. And as I move, again, it's just nipped, but we got some good clover. So I don't want to screw up this buckwheat clover mixture with more spray. I mean, the ground is open enough. The ground is plenty open, and deer like clover, so I'm just gonna leave it in here. So it'll make for some good mixture. And we're just going to seed right into this. I mean, plenty of open ground in here. It rained 2 days ago, so the ground is a little moist, which is perfect. I know I said moist, ugh. But we're gonna, we have good ground moisture, and we have rainstorms, passing thunder showers on and off the next 5 days. So it is a great time to get seed on this ground that's fairly open before the rain comes on and off the next 5 days. And you can see I'm pretty weed free. So I mean, that's a weed, but I mean, I moved along pretty well with no weeds. So my weeds are fairly controlled from the rye and the spraying I did when I terminated the rye. All right, let's get to seeding. So I'm using a little Northwoods Brassica blend. Now I know what you're just saying, well, you just said you were under a half of acre. You can't use that whole bag. That is correct. You do not want to overseed Brassicas. And guess what this guy does all the time? I overseed Brassicas. I just want to see stuff growing, and I just put a little bit too much out, and some spots, because I use the handheld because I'm a maniac, gets too much, but it's okay. I come back after Labor Day and rye the crap out of all this anyway. So I'm trying to do this on camera without spilling it. And you could see for this slightly under a half an acre, really more like a third of an acre, 0.33, I'm gonna only use a third of this bag, which does not even fill this spreader up. So that's almost 2/3 of what I'm gonna use. I could easily fit all this in this. I could usually fit all this in this. I could easily fit all this seed into this spreader or seeder, but I am going to not. And the reason why I do that is this is my seeding tip. If you make an error and all this falls out or you spill it, that was all the seed. So you don't want to waste all your seed. You want to keep some stuff. So I'm going to keep this off to the side, and we'll come back and do this again. Another thing I hear with Brassicas is you should not do your whole plot, all Brassicas every year. Not good for the soil. Mine don't grow that great anyway, and I'm not going to do that anyway, but I should just do it, but I'm not gonna. I'm going to do the other half on that side of Brassicas, and this is just going to be a forage blend. Last year I did this side. This year I'm going to do this side. The reason why it works out is I seem to have more clover on this end anyway, so I want to have that clover growing and expanding. All right, here we go. Seeds going out.